Hey everyone, good morning everyone. I'm really so excited that we're building up this fabulous lockdown, or not lockdown, depending on where you are, community. For me, like, people have been messaging me all week, which has been so beautiful for me, and saying, you know, thanks for doing this, this is so fun and we love it. But really, for me, it is a joy. I am having a great time with all of you. And really, we could just keep doing this forever. Hey Maureen, hey Jax, just chatting to Jax on the phone. Great to have you here. Hello everyone. Hi Carm Winstone, all the way from somewhere overseas and far away. It's so good to have you here, everyone. Hey Vicky. Vicky made the tomato sauce and she loved it. I feel like I'm sharing with you this great family secret to give you that tomato sauce recipe. I know it's in the book, but it's just such a big part of our existence. I would say, and I think I've said, we probably use it from the freezer at least twice or 3 times a week. And I hope that it's going to become a staple in your house as well. That would give me even greater joy. Yes, Carm Winstone is from Canada, and thanks for watching from Canada. Hope everyone in lockdown is surviving. It is still very blah, but I guess when the numbers go down, we feel a little bit happy for a moment that things might change. We'll see. Hey Lauren from Connecticut, good to have you here. Wow, 10:17 p.m. It's very late to be cooking. I assume you're not cooking, you're just like lying in bed with your phone watching, and that's okay too. Hey, another Vicky, great to have you here. 67 years old and finally has a sauce she will use. I love that. I love that. Makes me so happy. So let's talk about today. Get so many messages from people. Can I do something not sweet? Can we do something healthy? Can we do something vegetarian? Well, here it is. Okay, ticks all those boxes, and gluten-free to boot, and dairy-free. So it really ticks every box that a lot of people want at the moment, although I am still drawn to baking biscuits and cakes. To me, that's just part of the joy of cooking, and I'll keep on doing it forever and ever. No matter how much of a bad rap sugar gets, I'm not giving up, okay? Just saying that publicly. So let's talk about this soup. The idea of this soup is to use the sauce that you've got in the freezer. Just cuts out, cuts out a half an hour, cuts out chopping onions, saves you a bit of time. Of course, if you don't have the sauce, I'll run through how to make this soup anyway. Let's start with all the ingredients that we're going to need. First, you're going to need a saucepan. For 4 people, I'm using just a middle-sized, it's my middle-sized soup pot. Can't tell you how many litres it is. Probably about 8 litres, 7 or 8 litres. Doesn't have to be non-stick for this. I actually prefer it not to be non-stick, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a masher to mash the beans. That's how I want my soup, and I wouldn't mash it in a pot that's non-stick. But if you're not going to mash it, by all means, use non-stick. All right, so today I am making a spiced chickpea or bean soup. You can use whatever legume you have in your pantry, okay? If you've got 1 can of beans and 1 can of chickpeas, that is fine. Mix them up, whatever you want works really, really well. I'm using chickpeas because I'm just in a chickpea kind of a mood. So you're going to need 2 cans of whatever legume you want. The small cans, 400 grams, whatever they are. Then you're going to need some olive oil, always. Spices, we're going to use turmeric, ground turmeric, which is the yellow spice, and we're going to use ground cumin, okay? Easy. And chilli. So recipe says 1 birdseye chilli, and I'll tell you about what we're going to do with that in a minute. I'm going to take a very big shortcut to make it super easy and quick. You're going to need 1.5 cups of your ready-made tomato sauce. The one that you all made on Monday or Tuesday or whenever you made it. Hopefully you've got some left. Mine is very thick and chunky, which I absolutely love. If you don't have the sauce, you can use a store-bought pasta sauce. That's also a great base for this. Just make sure it's not too sweet. Some of the sauces have sugar in them, and I wouldn't really want a sauce with sugar in it for this recipe. Just check what spices are used before you put it in. And we're going to need some chicken or vegetable stock. And I have about 2.5 cups of very rich chicken stock. You know, there's a thing about what you do. Which chicken stock do you use for a soup? When is it okay to use powder or cubes? When is it necessary to use real stock? And when is it okay to use the one from the packet, like Mordo, one of those brands, or Maggie Beer? Hi Dorrit, good to have you back here today. So nice to see everyone filing in. I think it depends on what you want the end product to taste like. You've got to think about, when you take a spoon of this soup, are you going to taste the chicken stock or vegetable stock? If you're not, if it's got so much other stuff in it, so much flavour, so much spice, then you can really get away, I think, with using a powdered stock. One of those in the, I think Macel is one that does one that's okay. And I use that from time to time in a vegetable soup. If I'm roasting heaps of veggies, it's a pureed soup, you're really not going to taste it. In this soup, however, I think you are going to taste the stock. So I would really rather, if you can, use a stock that you've made yourself or one of the good ones, either from your chicken shop or your butcher, they all do them, or one of the ones in the pack like Mordeaux that I mentioned earlier. Okay, that's all our ingredients. And of course, salt and pepper. So let's start. For those who've just come in, we are making a spiced chickpea soup with a few shortcuts, which I love. So let's put the pan on high. I always start on high, no matter what I'm doing. On high, I'm feeling though I'm very close to my stove with my apron string, which is not ideal if I go up in flames today. Okay, so olive oil. Let's put about, before I start, while that's heating up, let me talk about what I've done with my chickpeas. I have, hold on, I'm going to go back a step. Let's do this first. So I opened my cans this morning. See just what happened? All the water went into my stove, but anyway, hopefully it'll still work. I opened my cans of chickpeas this morning. I put them in a colander. The juice that comes in the can of chickpeas is called aquafaba, and there's a whole movement now that it replaces egg whites for vegans, so you can make meringues and all sorts of things using that juice. If that is you, do not throw out that juice, keep it. That is not me, so mine went down the sink. So I tipped my chickpeas into the colander. Actually tipped one can into the sink directly, don't even ask. Luckily I could scoop it out. Then rinse, because you get all this frothy water with that aquafaba taste that I really don't want in my soup. I don't like it and I don't want it, so I rinsed it till we stopped getting frothy water. And then I just let them sit in some cold, room temperature water just while I was getting ready for the last hour or so. And now they're ready to use. I've drained them. Doesn't matter if they're wet because they're going in a wet soup, okay? So that's my chickpeas ready to go. Please rinse and drain. It's really, really important. Okay, back to this. Let's go. Okay, yeah, of course it's not going to light now, is it? Because I've got half a cup of water in there. Hold on. All right. Oh, there we go. Always something. Either the doorbell or the dogs or the stove doesn't work. So, pan on, olive oil. I'm going to put about a tablespoon of olive oil. For this sort of thing, I don't think you need to measure it, just eyeball it, or a tablespoon. And it's really important for me when you're cooking with spices and things to fry them off first to get the best out of them. Particularly they've been sitting in your pantry for a couple of months and you want to get the best out of them. So you want to fry them off. I'm just going to get a wooden spoon, wooden spatula. When the oil is sizzling, I'm going to add my spices, okay? Vicky, if I was using beans, I would use any beans you like. My first choice would probably be cannellini from the can, the white beans. You could use red kidney beans, but they're not my favourite because they tend to go mushy very quickly. But if that's what you got, use them. White beans, number one choice. The other one you can use is black-eyed peas or beans, which can come in a can. And the original recipe I'm taking this from uses black-eyed peas or beans, and they're beautiful and they look great as well. They've got little black eyes. So, wooden spoon, oil's getting hot. Let's put in the spices. I've got my teaspoon measure somewhere. I've got a thing with my turmeric. I think that the turmeric in my jar, I've been smelling it for 2 days, and every time I cook with it, it's got like a funny flavour that I don't love, and so I've opened a fresh packet this morning because I think that that turmeric has perhaps seen its better days. So I'm going to put in a scant teaspoon of turmeric, only because I don't love it. My oil is too hot. Let's just take it off. Let's just get a little dish, because I don't want to burn the spices, okay? So, turmeric and ground cumin, and I'm going to do a generous teaspoon of ground cumin. So for my taste, a scant teaspoon of turmeric and a generous teaspoon of ground cumin. I want the oil warm, but I don't want it too hot because of course I don't want to burn anything, okay? And I'm going to put the spices and the chili in and give them a quick toss. But let's just talk about the chili. If you want it super hot, I would cut the green stalk off at the end, cut it in half across ways and slice it with the seeds and put it in. I just want a hint of, if you just want a hint of it, cut it in half, take the seeds out, discard them, and put the whole pieces of chili in, and that'll give a good amount of spice. I'm going super lazy here, okay? You'll have to excuse me. I am just going to, using my green board, of course, because you know we don't do onions and garlic on anything in this house but a green board. And I'm just going to cut, I better do it down here. I don't know where to show you. I'm just going to cut a slit, and I'll show you closer. Sorry, I can't do it on the phone. So I've just cut a slit in my chili like that, and I'm just going to put it in like that. No chopping. It'll still be quite spicy because the flavour of chili from those seeds is going to leach out as soon as we start cooking. So chili in, spices in, and just give that I've turned it down now. It was on high when I started, oil went in, turn it down to low. I want it to sizzle, and I'm going to cook that for about a minute, just till I get those beautiful, beautiful aromas from the spices and the chili, okay? That's it. Everyone with me? Excellent. Them thumbs up. I know it's hard to stir and give a thumbs up, but if you can, that would be awesome. Just let me know. Yep, cooking along. How's everyone going in lockdown? Are you managing? And how are you feeling out of lockdown wherever you are, not in Sydney? You must feel pretty relieved that it's not you, I guess. Like we did every day last year that Melbourne was in lockdown. We were just so relieved. And sorry for Melbourne, and now everyone's feeling sorry for us. Hey Michelle, hey Kaz, thank you, thumbs up. Sophia, great, love to see it. Okay, once that's sizzled, I'm going to turn it up a bit to medium. Yum, 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 already smells good. And the next thing I'm going to put in are my chickpeas, okay? Or beans, or whatever it is. Remember, they have been drained and rinsed. Hey Rob, yeah, glad Adelaide's fine, and I'm glad you're cooking up a storm. It's good to see you on Instagram. Sandra, thumbs up, excellent. Okay, chickpeas going in. It's gonna sizzle. I want it to sizzle. You know, it feels like it's happening. It's grabbing the flavour. It's all doing what it's supposed to do. Turn it up to high. And we're gonna just get those chickpeas in those spices, okay? Get every last bit of spice in every single corner of your pan, and make sure they're all really well coated. And I want it high because I want it to sizzle when I go to the next step. I know I'm taking my time here because I want everyone to follow along, but really when you make this yourselves next week, week after, whenever you make it for the 15th time, you'll realise how quick and easy the recipe is. It really, really is. Okay. Now, I've got to say, these would be good to eat just like this. There's nothing wrong with chickpeas cooked in spices as a side dish for so many things, really. You're going to need about 2 to 3 cups of chicken stock. I'm not sure yet. We're just going to see how we go. Okay. So, toss around your chickpeas. Yum. I could really just sit down now. I'm trying to think with a bowl of what? With a bowl of brown steamed rice and these chickpeas on top of it would be good. Yum. That sounds something like I could do that for lunch. Okay, just need a sip of my tea. I don't know what tea you guys drink, but I'm a peppermint tea drinker. I start off with a bag in a big glass in the morning, and then as the day goes on, I just keep refilling it with the same tea bag. I'm not trying to save money or anything. I just quite like it getting weaker and weaker. But it comes to a time, like at about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, where it's just water with a hint of an old tea bag, and then it's fun to toss it out and start again. Today I thought I'd go milky white, little bit of sugar, and it's just so yummy. You know, the sort you'd have with a piece of cake. No cake here today, but a lovely cup of tea. So Someone there loves lemon and ginger. You know, I kept trying lemon and ginger. Tried and tried and tried. I just don't love ginger tea. I don't like, I love ginger in stir fry, like fresh ginger in a stir fry or something like that, or a sauce, but can't do lemon and ginger tea. A lot of people do though, a lot. Okay, how are your chickpeas going? Good? Yep, my pan is dry now, okay? I have, turn this hideous light on again for a minute. Might leave it on for a minute. So you can see my pan is dry, ready now to add the sauce. I'm adding 1.5 cups of the tomato sauce. And again, I'm going to give that a stir on the heat. Every time you stir ingredients together over heat, they're going to get caramelized, they're going to get more flavor, and that's what we're looking for. We're not looking for stewy things yet. We want heat, we want flavor, and that's what we've got. And if it's thick at the bottom, even better. When my soup is cooking in a minute, I'll talk to you about what to do. I know it's a bit late for you because if you don't have the sauce and what you've got to do. Okay, so I've got this lovely dish which also, oh that's hot, would also be a really good side dish with something yum. Or serve it on rice. Yum. Chickpeas and tomato. Nothing wrong with that at all. Okay. Next we're going to add the stock. Now I've added, 2.5 cups, and that's perfect. What happens is, the reason I said 2.5 to 3 is because sometimes you might put your stove on high. We're going to sort of cook this soup down a bit, and then you might forget about it like I may have done the other day, and then you come back and it's reduced down and I needed some more water and a bit more stock. Okay, good question, Rob. No garlic, no onion. That's why we're using the sauce that's been already made, because we've already done the garlic and onion in the sauce, okay? That's why this is a shortcut soup. I'll talk about it in one sec, about what to do if you haven't made the sauce. So this is it. The soup is done now. It looks pretty unexciting, I've got to say. We're going to have to add a bit of salt. Just going to add a little bit of cooking salt, maybe about a 1/4 teaspoon, and a really good grind of pepper. Now what I want this soup to simmer away for about at least 20 minutes. But I want it to simmer. Someone said the other day, it's actually a really great thing, that it was Michaela Kolofsky who interviewed me for a Sydney Jewish Writers' Festival event last week with Alice Zaslavsky, which was great. We made chicken soup. And we're doing another event actually for the Writers' Festival next week. I'm doing information coming soon with more details. But she said that someone taught her, maybe it was her grandmother, that it's a smile, not a laugh. So simmering is a smile and boiling is a laugh, and she's doing a smile, not a laugh. And you know what? I just love that idea. So I want this to be a smile, not a laugh. A gentle simmer, bubbles around the edge. I'm just going to taste it. It's really important to taste along the way. Just check your seasoning, although it's not finished yet, okay? It's pretty good. What does it need for me? See, it's already spicy for me. It's already probably too spicy for one of my kids who doesn't like spice. So I'm going to just add a bit more salt and let that simmer, just so the flavours come together, just so it reduces a little bit. Then the soup is either ready. You can enjoy it just like that, but I find it better. What I'd really love to do is to take half of it out and put it in a blender and then put it back in. So you're getting a thicker soup, but not a pureed soup. It's sort of chunky and halfway between. The other thing you can do, which I'll do in a minute, is get a masher out and mash half the beans or chickpeas. So you've got half mashed, half whole, and you have this just beautiful soup. If you find it is too watery, the easy solution to do, and I'm looking at mine and I wonder if I should have used 2 cups of stock instead of 2.5, is just cook it on a higher heat, so laughing, not smiling, so that the liquid evaporates and you'll get the level you want. So that's the soup. I'm going to finish it off with my masher in a few minutes. I want to just talk about what do you do if you don't have the sauce. So Rob actually brought it up, and thank you for reminding me. If you don't have the sauce, you need to start from scratch. You need to saute an onion. You need to cook it for about 15 minutes in olive oil. When it's at the end of its cooking, add in a clove of garlic, crushed or otherwise. Then add in your spices, toss that around, add in a can of tomatoes. You're pretty much making the tomato sauce that we made on Monday. And when that's done, cook it for about half an hour, then continue with the chickpeas, etc., etc. You can see that having the sauce in the freezer gives you such a great shortcut, and that's really the point of this whole week of me making the sauce on a Monday and showing you all the dishes you can do with it. Everyone's busy, everyone's got stresses and whatever distractions in their life, and they don't always think from the morning till the night, what are we going to make for dinner, and where will I start with my chopped onion and olive oil? This is like, oh my God, what do I do? I've got a tub of tomato sauce in the freezer, I've got cans of beans or chickpeas in the pantry, I've always got spices, I've always got stock in the freezer or a packet. There is your soup. You haven't had to leave the house, and that's what I love about it. So Rob, I hope that answers your question. If you want more garlic, by all means, you could have put it in when you sauteed the spices, add in a couple of cloves of garlic. Those of you who have followed me along all these weeks and months and years know that garlic's not our thing, so I would not add more for my taste. If you don't like chilli, don't put it in at all. The question, when would we take the chilli out? I'm going to leave it in right till I serve, and I will take it out just before serving, unless you want someone to be that lucky person who gets the whole bird's eye chilli to eat. I'll probably forget and leave it in. Someone will eat it, but as long as it's not me, it's all good, right? Any more questions about your soup? How's it going? Is everyone's boiling away like this? As I said when I did the soup, things that you cook together in a pot always start off feeling separate, like just a bunch of ingredients in a pot, and they haven't come together, and at some point there's probably a name for it where it turns from ingredients in a pot to the sauce, whether it's the tomato or the bolognese or the soup. And so this soup has to come together, and we've just got to be patient. If you've got lots of time today, you could cook it probably for 40 minutes. I left Sophia, I left the seeds in the chili. I wanted it quite spicy. I just slit the chili so that all the flavour comes out. If you don't want any spice, cut it in half, take the seeds out, and then just put the rest of the chili in, and you can take it out. Let's have another taste and see how our flavour's going. Oh, so good. It's just the liquid part of it is really delicious because it's got spice. It's got the flavours of the spices, and the chilli is definitely coming through already. And the tomato is just in the background. It's really, really good. Okay. So while that's simmering away, before I get my masher out, I wanted to just tell you some things about next week and about things that Monday Morning Cooking Club have for sale, because, I've got to do a bit of a plug here, right? Got to do something. So what I want to say is this apron, which I hope you like. I love it. As you can see, I'm wearing it every day. It is super comfy. It has stretch in the material. Now, I don't know about you, but I love anything with a stretch. And it's this beautiful organic cotton that has a stretch. Feels great to wear it. I sometimes wear it from literally like 9 a.m. till I sit down to dinner in it. It has a pen holder. It has a glasses pocket. It has a phone pocket. Anyway, it's for sale on our website, and today I am putting on free postage for all of you guys. You have to put in the coupon thing at checkout that says lockdown21, and it's going to be free postage till Sunday, okay, on these aprons. And they're really beautiful, and I just love wearing it. So that's that. The other thing is I've just put our books on sale as well. So just doing a bit of a plug today. This is our most recent book, Now for Something Sweet. And it's now on sale for $35, down from $50 on our website. And I'm going to keep that on for sale till the end of the weekend as well, if you want to buy it. So that's just two little plugs. Now, next week, I've just spent yesterday planning what we're going to do next week in lockdown, which we're sadly going to be in. And It's going to be bloody good. That's all I'll say to you. I'm going to give you a little hint. We're going to have 2 special guests, actually 3 special guests throughout the week. We are going to have, shall I tell you or shall I wait? I can't decide. No, you know what? I'm going to wait. I'm not going to tell you, but I'll tell you the theme of the week is going to be bread and dips, okay? We're going to have a session every day from Monday to Saturday. We've got 3 special guests through the week. One is a chef, one is not, and one has another profession, which I'm not going to tell you because it'll give it away. So I just want to entice you to keep watching and keep being part of this community and wait and see what happens next week. It's going to be lots of fun. And for the rest of this week, tomorrow I am making spinach and ricotta nouilles, which are like little dumplings made with fresh spinach, ricotta cheese, bit of flour, bit of parmesan. Fantastic to make. And guess what we cook them in? Who can guess? Tomato sauce. So again, we're going to use the sauce that you made. Hopefully you've got some left. Hope you've got it in the freezer or the fridge, and we're going to cook it in that sauce. You'll need, I think, 3 cups of sauce for 4 people. So that's what we're doing tomorrow. And then on Saturday, using the same sauce again, which is why we made such a big batch on Monday, I'm going to show you my shortcut shakshuka eggs. There's nothing time consuming about them. It takes as long as it takes to cook the eggs and cook the toast, which I'm going to do in a very special way. So that's what's happening the rest of the week, that's what's happening next week, and that's what's happening on our website. Our website is mondaymorningcookingclub.com.au if you want to go buy any of these things. That's the news pretty much that I have to share for the day. Let's see how this soup is going. Yep, okay, so I'm pretty happy. The longer you cook it, the more the chickpeas are going to break down, okay? So you really can't overcook it. The only thing you could do is boil it too much so that it gets too dry, in which case, what do? Just add some water and it'll just replenish itself. So I'm going to get my masher, if I can find it, yeah. And I'm going to mash, and in an ideal world, I would like you to wait a little bit longer. I'm doing it now because I can't stand here and keep you for so long, really. I feel bad doing that. So I'm going to mash half of them because I want half of them to be mushy and half of them to be whole chickpeas because I still want to see what sort of soup it is. As I said, you could take half of the soup out, put it in your blender or your Vitamix or whatever you've got, or your food processor, and puree it to a paste and put it back in the soup, half of it. So I'm going to mash right in the pot half of my chickpeas. And then my soup is done. I'm just going to show it to you in a nice bowl so you can see how it looks. If you haven't made it yet, bear with me for 1 sec. Of course, I'm not well enough prepared to have a bowl ready. That would be just too easy. So just bear with me while I scoot over and get one. Okay. So this is it. It's literally 5 minutes to prepare this soup. If you've got the sauce already made, you can see 5 minutes. A beautiful, beautiful, hearty, healthy, quick soup. I absolutely love it. What would I serve it with? Well, for lunch I would get some, if you can get some fresh bread or some toast, it would be absolutely perfect. If you want to pimp it up a bit, grab some baby spinach leaves and throw them in at the last minute to add some greens. That would be also really yummy in it. That is it. That is my spiced chickpea or bean soup. Again, if you're going to make it, please post it on Instagram and tag Monday Morning CC so I can repost your pic. If you just want to send it to me as a DM and I'll post it without your name, that's also fine. I just love sharing what you're doing. It really makes me feel very happy. So happy souping, everyone. Hang in there in lockdown, and all I can say is stay safe, everyone, please, and go get vaccinated as soon as you can. See you all. See you tomorrow. Same time, same place. I'll be here. A dollop of yogurt would be beautiful. That's a great idea. I love that. I love that idea. A dollop of yogurt, yes please. Actually, my mother-in-law would always put sour cream on her soup, which I also like. That would be really nice too. Thank you all. Good to see you. I'm going to just have a little bit of soup now. I'm very good. Very hot. See you. Bye all. See you tomorrow.